A staff of power. This is a find indeed. Compared to that old tome, I don't know what I thought I would be able to do with it. Well, perhaps trade it for favors, but this I could make use of. And perhaps very soon. It all went wrong. Even though I told Roman I've sided with avarice, now he's going to be stubborn, just like he was down there. And I, being the fool I am, fling myself into his decisions. Him keeping me away from potentially greater powers. I don't like Velen, and she doesn't make a secret of not liking me either. Well, that's fine. But for now, it seems like something else is going on. That blue light. Surely it must be the goddess, or would-be goddess, coming to collect. I do wonder what went wrong here, though. Whatever was that thing in that blasted room, the containment chamber, does that have anything to do with the downfall of the city? Well, no time to dwell on it. Here we go.
This is Red Moon Role-Playing.
A very strange thing is occurring before the entranceway that led to the ruins of the doomed city of Yffrin. A great silvery light is shining down. From where? No one can tell. Forming in the light, though, is a gigantic shape. As you watch it for a few more seconds, it seems to become more solid. A great being is forming in the light. A bird. No, not a bird. A rock. A magnificent white-feathered rock is beginning to materialize just on the outskirts of the city of Yffrin. You also think, from this distance, you can see a figure riding upon the rock, although you can't quite make out the details on the figure just yet. As you look for a few more seconds, you finally think you can also see a small floating skull just appear in a flash of lightning before the great being. But at this point, time is of the essence. Roman and Roshik, I would like you to roll your initiative to see who reacts first.
26.
14.
Roshik, you react first. What do? Before you see a gigantic rock forming out of nothing with a rider upon it. Everyone is stunned by what is happening. Velen, Roman, even Avarice and her companions, everyone is looking out at the window with an expression of confusion and worry. What do?
As I see this with my one eye and have this short moment to react, trying to make the best of this situation which was about to escalate into a fight, I just think to myself very quickly that we've delivered on our part. Either way, she has the book. I don't care about Avarice. She was led here too, so I lived up on that bit of the bargain. We got a staff, we got a shield for Roman, but most importantly, we have the key to go down into the lower levels and retrieve the Mythalar. I just grab Roman's arm and I say, "Come, we've delivered our part. She has the book. We didn't promise anything more. Let's go down now, get the Mythalar and be done with this."
Agreed. And I look to Velen. Would you join us?
What? Of course! Quickly, out of our way, Avarice!
And I start, without really waiting for their reaction, to try and get past these people, which are all now also looking out, to get back from where we came.
How do you do that?
I think I just try to make a run for it through while they're all distracted.
Roman, what do you do? Roshik says this to you and looks like he's about to just sprint forward towards the doors. What do you do?
Does it seem like we would have any chance of getting the doors open with these people there? I mean, now that they're distracted, will that make it easier, or will we have to kill them? I mean, how does the situation look?
If you rush to the doors right now, you'll reach the doors. You have no idea what any of these people will do.
Well, then I follow. Roshik has made the decision, and I will be there for my friend.
All three of you run to the doors, taking this moment to rush past your foes. Velen quickly says the catchphrase, and the door swings open. And of course, at this point, Avarice just turns her head, raises her hand, and screams, "Seriously?" Battle has begun. Roshik, it is your turn. What do you do? Avarice is about to attack you. You are, of course, however, right in front of these doors.
I see that then. I understand that she is doing something.
You do indeed.
I instinctively search within the staff. What does this contain? And I find something as I call out for help inside of it. And I would like to use Wall of Force to separate the three of us from the others. As a wall formed by the magic of evocation that doesn't allow spells to pass and can only be destroyed with a disintegrate spell. Otherwise, it will stand there up to 10 minutes.
Time slows a little for you, Roshik. It seems that just as you arrive at this door and it swings open, both Roman and Velen manage to be very close to you. You don't think this would have worked if there'd been even a moment of hesitation. You quickly step in front of them, shove Roman and Velen behind you, and lay down with your staff of power this wall of force directly in front of the door, before, I assume, backtracking through the door yourself.
Yes.
And so your wall of force springs up, and you flee through the door. All three of you are in darkness for a few seconds. You, of course, recall how the door works before appearing on the other side. From beyond the doors, you can hear a great yell. "Velen, you bastard!" And initiative is over. All three of you are on the other side. Roman, you imagine very soon many enemies are going to be coming for you. What do you do?
We've got to keep on moving. We've got to find the metal ore.
Then you begin running back down to that room you were in before. Velen quickly pacing behind you as fast as she can, holding the book. Roshik, what about you?
As the spell is cast and I'm being transported through the portal, I see the others in front of me and I start running after them. I shout, "I don't know how long it will last, or if they will find a way around it, but it might buy us some time."
Good thinking. Good thinking. We can get through this alive, I think. Come on.
As we start running, I'm thinking to myself, there's too much evidence now pointing to me being infected by something. It's clouding my mind. I must stick close to Roman. He did something to Velen. It might not have been a curse after all. If they're all seeing it, and I feel this kinship with these green-eyed denizens of this place, then maybe I am infected, and maybe I need a cure. He is my only key, and he is my friend.
You begin running as fast as you can, back down that stairway, back across that bridge, through the room of strange crystals and the strange old man, and finally find yourself once again back in that room full of music and laughter, exactly the same as it was before, only now all three of you are tired and panting. Roshik, you don't think you can feel anyone coming from behind you, But you do hear, all of you, from somewhere outside the building, a great screech. A bird, a rock, calling. It must be at the top now.
It must be Iskra, that mighty rock. It might be carrying Aurel with her.
That would be perfect, wouldn't it? I truly hope it is not the case, but I fear it might be. Well, we must not tarry. Let's just get this done and get out as soon as we can.
What do we even do when we have it?
I think it can give us power, can it? Maybe we can use it on Aurel.
But use the Mythalar Aurel, maybe, hopefully. I have no idea. Let's just hurry!
And I run.
You start looking around in the room. There is indeed a stairway that leads down by a bar full of champagne flutes and wine glasses.
Lower levels. This must be it.
You quickly head to this stairway, pushing past the noble lords and ladies, causing a bit of a scene, but I don't think any of you care at this point, and the three of you manage to find your way to a door deep down the stairway. What do, Roman?
I look around, I look to Roshik and I look to Velen. Alright, what now?
I take out the key as I fumble with it and to see if it fits into this one.
It does.
And as I do, I say, did you also see the Archlich out there? Did it go to meet her?
Was that what I saw, that it was on its way there?
You think you saw, but again, you then turned away and set down this course of action. You have no idea now what is happening above you. It was either find out or run, and you chose to run.
Well, I don't know, maybe they went to fight each other. Let's hope.
I turn the key. Yeah, that, or it's just coming to greet her. And I push the door open.
You push open the door and find before you a great stairway leading down. But immediately you notice that this is a massive space. It is not simply a staircase that goes straight down. It winds down across some sort of dark wall. As you begin heading down the stairs, you see it immediately. A great glowing orb, roughly 50 feet in diameter, swirling with magical energies. It seems to be held in some sort of great cradle made of stone. Around it are 4 little pedestals, made, it seems, for putting something on, you're not quite sure. They surround this great glowing orb of magical power. Velen just nods. There you have it! The Mythalar! There you go! There it is! Let's go down the stairs then, quickly!
Alright, let's go.
I let them rush past me and I lock the door behind me for now.
The door does not close from this side.
Well, I try, but in vain. And then I start running after them.
As you begin running down the stairway, again it takes some time to reach the bottom, you suddenly all hear in your minds at the same time a strange voice. The voice is cold and harsh and distant, and yet has a cold authority to it. You all hear it in your minds as you are racing down the stairs. The city of Yffrin is mine. Flee, flee, and despair.
No. We have to save East Haven. I have to save Kalyana. No. Not flee.
Was that her?
Yes. That was her. Well, we need to move. We don't have much time. Do we have to put something on these pedestals? Can we access the Mythalar?
You arrive down at the great Mythalar itself, towering above you. You immediately, Roshik, feel it would certainly be difficult to carry this gigantic orb in your pocket, unfortunately.
I thought it was some sort of crystals, but this is immense. I try to reach out and probe it somehow with my powers?
All you're able to discern from probing out with your powers is that there is great magical energy here, and as you extend your hand a little to the orb itself, you immediately feel great heat, causing you to withdraw your hand. Velen remarks, "Don't just touch it, you blithering moron! You'll probably be disintegrated. No, there'll be... Look at the pedestals. There'll be some way of working it. I don't know how."
I move to investigate the pedestals. What's going on with them? Is there any way to manipulate them? Any way to make changes?
They look like they have indentations for hands.
All right. I put down my left hand on one of them.
Nothing is happening at this moment in time. However, a small figure then appears beside you. It is the old little man from before who called himself Everlast. He says, "Oh, good evening, travellers. Are we lost? Oh dear, you really shouldn't be down here, you know. I'm afraid the Miflar is quite out of commission at the moment."
How can we get it to work again? We need it to change, to bring back the light, to save the 10 towns.
Well, as I said, the procedures I outlaid before, the proper maintenance, the proper mages, the proper power outlets, and you will indeed hopefully be able to eventually restore the Miflar to full power. Unfortunately, at present, it is only on its last setting, and of course if you activated that, while that would of course go down, the results would be catastrophic.
Catastrophic how? The city would be destroyed? Is that what we're talking about?
Most definitely, in some form or other. I don't quite know. Luckily, we're not going to be doing that, of course. I can assure you the Archlich would be most upset. No, instead it's much better to administer to my plans. But don't worry, I'll guide you back upstairs.
But if we did use it, could it change everything? Could it actually get the last job done?
The last job done? Well, the last job was, I believe, a simple weather function. So yes, certainly, of course, it would perform that feat. That's the current settings it's set on.
Then that's what we must do, but it needs to be reversed in some way. If this has been used to make everything dark, then now it must bring back the light. How do we make that change?
Well, again, I informed you, my dear boy, that you simply activate the last spell that is currently active. But as I said, that would be catastrophic, so of course you mustn't do that.
And I move to try to touch it and try to activate it somehow. Velen, do you know how to do this?
Velen comes over and places her hands on the pedestal, saying, "I don't know, perhaps you just attuned to it like any magical item."
I close my eyes and I try to connect with this piece of ancient technology. I try to link with it and try to take control of it.
You begin attempting to do so. As you close your eyes and focus, strange runic symbols begin to form before your very eyes. You feel as if you are for a moment inside this glowing orb. But there's so much going on, so many strange things flying by you. Really hard to actually tell what you're doing, although you do feel Velen's presence. That feels better. You do recall that there are many of these little podiums around the Miflar, not just the one or two.
As I watch them touching one each, I just look between them and make up my mind to go and do the same with a third one.
And you do so. The old man at this point is sounding quite agitated, jumping up and down, remarking, "No, seriously, I don't know what you're doing, but that is completely disastrous." But it doesn't seem as if he's able to actually stop you doing anything. As you enter the orb, Roshik, you see these swirling forms and patterns, and they begin to make some sense to you, but not much sense, although there do seem to be a collection of runes in the center of this strange space you find yourself in that do seem to say something that activate or begin, commence.
Might be this one. And then I take a short moment to look around just to see if there's anything else I can find out from this.
Roll an Arcana check.
5.
You have no idea. This space is extremely confusing. The only thing you notice is that what you're heading to seems solid, while everything else is swirling in constant motion. You become dimly aware as well of Velen and Roman all being here as well, as if you're temporarily all connected. Roman, you feel Roshik heading to this stable area for some reason, but again, everything is very confusing in this magical artifact.
I'm trying to activate it via this pedestal, but if it's not working, then I move on to one of the others.
When you let go, Roman, you leave the space. You become aware again that this little old man is yelling now at you to stop what you're doing. You then move to another pedestal. The situation is the same. After a few moments, once again, you are back with Roshik and Velen in this space.
Oh, there you are again. It seems to be some sort of activation here in the middle. That's all I can discern from these runes. No idea what that's going to do.
Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's activate it. Come on.
I said, yeah. He did say something about only being able to carry out the last function. If it's changing the weather, then this is it. And I try to reach out towards the activating sequence.
Indeed. And with Roshik leading, all three of you simply decide to activate this command. It seems as simple as willing it. There is a great thrumming from within the Miflar. All three of you suddenly feel a slight pain in your head and you are thrust out of it. There you see the Miflar begin to turn, rapidly. The colours within fluctuating, red, blue, green, orange, yellow. There is then a sudden, great, loud crash, as from the Miflar, a great light then shines directly upwards. It seems to hit the ceiling and then continue through the ceiling, although it doesn't cause any damage. Everything around you starts shaking. What do you do?
Is that it? Did we do it? Has it started?
I don't know. We should get out either way.
Oh, yeah. Velen, we can go now, right?
I have no idea. Yes, no. What's happening?
And I look for the old man. Is he still there?
He is by your side, going, "Oh no! What have you done?"
We've saved a lot of people's lives. Okay, let's go.
And then the orb goes dark. Everything shakes a little, and you just see the old man look at you and say, "Oh my goodness, wait, there might still be something And then he begins flickering and vanishes. Shortly after that, the entire space around you, that darkness that seemed to make the walls, begins to start fading away. And suddenly you realize you are outside. Or rather that this entire structure is below the great High Court itself, held up now just by a few giant stone foundations. The outside is now completely clear to you. The city is all around you. What do you do, Roman?
Now we have to get out of here. I look around. I'm trying to see, are the others here? Avarice? Oral? Are they here?
You begin looking around, perhaps in some mild confusion. What about you, Roshik? What are you doing?
My first instinct is that we've somehow exhausted the magical power left in the city, and so I just feel how I'm standing. If did the gravity field disappear? Are things slightly askew?
As you think about that, you do feel that the ground does seem a little lighter and then a little heavier. It's quite mild though, it's not catastrophic.
Well, I think we just exhausted the last bit of this power.
And as you are thinking this, sitting there a little stunned for a moment, before you see a being suddenly fly down from up above. They land in front of you. Not directly in front of you, but a little distance in front of you. They are a strange-looking being, about 6-7 foot tall. They have tusks, but they have a face of an owl. It's some sort of strange owl-faced hybrid, Roman. You have never seen a creature like this. And as it lands, the wings begin to magically fold away, becoming more a cloak. The being looks at you and screams. "What have you done?"
We have undone what you have done. We have brought back the light. And now we're done here. You can go back to doing whatever you were doing. And we will go back to ours.
The being lifts its hand. A great gale begins to form behind it. Undone! Mortals! Die! Please roll initiative.
20.
12.
Roman, you have no idea what this being before you is, but they do seem to be almost emanating an extremely powerful aura and utter hatred. You do not think you have ever felt such anger and malice directed at you before now. What do you do?
There's no getting out of this, is there? No way past it. Best strike first, then. And I call upon the powers that Lathander bestowed on me, and I unleash light. And I cast Guiding Bolt on Aurel.
Roll your attack.
It's a natural 28 result.
Roll your damage. And double it as you get a critical hit.
50.
Roman, tell me what happens here.
It's all come down to this point, hasn't it? Our long trek through the snow and the darkness. And this is where we change everything, where we truly bring back the light. I call upon Lathander and I call upon the light. Finally, it gets to come out. And it comes out like it never has before, and I unleash this massive ray beam of light that envelops my target. And I don't know how she accepts that, but I can't imagine that it's particularly nice for her.
You don't think so. After all, the being disintegrates, disappearing in almost a puff of mist, and is gone.
I stagger as I was about to get ready to get blasted myself. Where is she? Where did she go?
That can't have been Aurel. Alright, well...
A projection of some sort?
Maybe. Let's get moving. And I begin just rushing forward, and I look behind me to see if Velen is still with us.
Of course. You rush forwards, clearing some space. You are now just at what used to be the Great Wall? Magical force field? You're not quite sure. There was some reason you couldn't see this when you were outside, but now it seems as if the Mythalar was right in front of you all along. How strange. Roshik, what do you do? It is your turn.
Well, as they start running, I try to catch up, suspiciously looking around me for any other sign of her having, I don't know, moved through the plains.
Roll a perception check.
15.
As you begin running forward, you do notice something a little strange. There seems to be some sort of shards of ice or little puddles where this being, you think Aurel, just was when she apparently just disintegrated. They seem to be moving, and around you other little puddles are starting to appear and move together. You think they're going to be just behind you as you are moving forwards. You have finished your move. What do you do?
Is it like they're are they seeking each other?
You think so? You're not sure. This is all happening very quickly. Again, Roman is in the middle of running as fast as he can. As are you.
Well, if I see them all kind of converge on each other, I shall channel the force of the staff and cast a fireball at them, trying to evaporate it.
You cast your fireball, your staff, once again echoing with power, using up charges. And you blow at these puddles, and yes, they evaporate. And then a few seconds later begin reforming.
She's trying to rematerialize. Let's just try to get out of here while we have the time.
Yes, I say as I'm running ahead.
Yeah, and I realize that they are making quite a bit of progress ahead of me now. I start and try to redouble my efforts.
Indeed. But unfortunately that will be another turn. For now, your go is over. Velen quickly catches up with you, and all of you are now about 30 feet away from where you initially fought this being. And then, before your very eyes, you see the puddles, the ice, the water all begin to rapidly form together, coalescing into a shape. Legs, arms, a head. Before you is now a very different being to the one you saw a moment ago, where that was some sort of strange, hunched, owl-like being. This is more humanoid. Almost feminine. It stands 10 feet tall, with arms, legs, and jagged ice coming from its shoulders. The being points its hand towards you, and once again yells, "The city is what I deserve! You will die!" And from its hand it extends a great torrent of ice, water, and snow. Can each of you make me a Constitution saving throw? You may have advantage on this check, Roman, as your shield shines brightly for a moment.
That is 20.
19.
You turn, Roman, for a moment, instinctively trying to raise your shield. Roshik, what do you attempt to do to defend yourself against this sudden onslaught of ice and cold?
Not having time to channel forth another wall to put in between us, I just fling up the staff and try to ward it off.
Indeed, and Velen herself just tries to get behind you, Roman. But it's too late. The force that then meets you is immense. Everyone takes 36 cold damage.
I try to, as I feel bombarded by this blast, channel it into a rebuke of fire as a reaction.
You may do so.
That's 42 fire damage.
You unleash an inferno upon this being, an instantaneous one that always appears directly on the being who has wronged you. Yet somehow, this tall being just so ever slightly sidesteps to the left. They can't avoid it entirely, but they do manage to ignore the brunt of it. However, they do sizzle and burn as the ice melts, and a good part of the creature does just melt away, but not nearly enough. It is now your turn, Roman. What do you do?
I hold up the holy symbol of Lathander, and I channel his divinity to heal us and to bring back strength, which we will need in the battle against Oral. And I give back 15 hit points to all three of us.
That is your action. What is your move?
I try to position myself tactically so that Oral will have to keep looking two different directions at once. I move away a bit from Roshik.
So, would you say you move your full 30 feet away from Roshik?
Yes.
Very well, Roman. You channel your healing energies and then make a straight move away from everyone else, including Roshik. Again, 30 more feet. It is now your turn, Roshik. What do you do? Roman has moved quite a distance behind you. You are roughly 30 feet away from this being.
Experiencing that familiar feeling of healing powers, I still shudder. I see what Roman is doing, trying to spread us out, but still going in a direction that hopefully will get us out of here. I try to keep the distance, but move in the same general direction. I don't know, between houses. I don't know how it actually looks where we are right now.
You are currently on the main road of Yffrin, the one you followed that led straight to the centre originally.
Yeah, As I see Roman heading off to one side of the street, I bound for the other one, and as I'm running, I'm throwing eldritch blasts behind me.
Very well. You move far away, and then roll your attack.
18, and the other one is 25.
2 hits, roll damage.
The first is 10, and the second one is 11. 2 rays of different colors, leaving my hands flashing towards Aurel.
And as you do this and lay down your attacks, your eldritch blast hitting this great form, the form itself extends a hand again, and this time throws a single shard of ice in your direction, Roshik. You take 8 damage as this icy dart suddenly just pierces your side.
I grunt and feel how it's just cold is spreading inside my body. As I'm trying to run and do this at the same time, I'm an easy target.
Velen is running along with all of you, but she does turn. She screams as loud as she can. "Just die already, whatever you are!" and begins firing her magic missiles. 7 magic missiles fly out at once towards this being, each one hitting. After all, magic missiles cannot miss. But then you see Velen look concerned for a moment and drop the staff as it disintegrates, turning to dust. She remarks to you, "Well, oh dear, that's the end of that. All right, keep running!" And then it is Oral's turn. With a giant surge of speed, Oral quickly moves forward at rapid pace, descending upon you and Velen Roman. You're amazed that she can suddenly move so quickly for such a large being, but she is now a full 60 feet ahead, charging after you, coming for you. Roman, it is your turn. What do you do?
I unleash the light upon Aurel. I want to stop her in her steps, just like I did before. Surely it will work again. And I cast Guiding Bolt.
Roll your attack.
That is a 19.
Roll damage.
24.
You unleash your guiding bolt, confident in your abilities. Earlier, after all, you vanquished it in the name of the Fander. Surely this being cannot stand against his light. Although, at the back of your mind, a little thing does remind you that sometimes Lafander's magics are most effective against things that are not as they currently seem. Illusions, if you will. It's as you're thinking that even though you score a solid hit on this being, blowing off one of its arms, it is still very much alive and coming for you. What do you do?
I steel myself for the pain that is undoubtedly about to come, and I pray to Lathander to keep me safe. And I simply circle around Aurel as best as I can, not trying to flee or anything, just trying to position myself.
Indeed, and as you do this, a great flurry of ice, wind, and snow begin to surround the entire area. You and Roshik and even Velen will take 5 piercing damage. Roshik, it is your turn. Even though Aurel is bearing down on Roman and Velen, you are not quite in the same area. You are within 30 feet of the being. That's why you're taking the ice damage, but you are not in melee. What do you do?
So they're more or less clumping up over there.
I wouldn't say clumping up, I'd say more doing their best to run straight forwards, and this being simply bearing down upon them.
I'm trying to keep my distance away.
As you are thinking what to do, you do notice the being seems to be slowing ever so slightly. That charge did take it off balance a little. Maybe it's almost down. Maybe another attack with fire would do something.
I can feel that the power is diminished within the staff. But surely there's enough. Surely there's enough, and what does it matter if I don't make it out alive? I lift it up, and I hurl out a blazing fireball, trying to avoid hitting my friends, so hitting the building behind it, but still engulfing this Dear may God, if that's what she is.
You fire out your fireball. How much damage do you do?
43.
Roshik, you suddenly dart out from one of the buildings, having been running alongside the others, and just unleash once again from the staff a great fireball. It's strange. You seem to almost feel that the staff is starting to run a little low on power. It's almost like you can tell how much power was within it, and you've almost spent it all. Still, you fire your fireball directly into this creature. It turns to face your fire, and once again does seem to avoid most of the damage as it ducks, but the heat is still immense, and it falls to the ground, and once again just starts melting. You think you've done it. You've defeated this being.
Well, that was definitely more resilient than what we fought before. I hope it won't reform for anything even more powerful.
Third time's the charm, right? Let's keep going.
I let them rush past me, but I stop a second to just look at this water now forming if it's starting to move again.
Velen, for her turn, just nods and uses her full movement to dash as fast as she can, fleeing along that great road. Again, the entrance to the city of Yffrin. You're not there yet, but you're getting a lot closer to that entrance and the end of this place. And it is as Velen is fleeing that you see the waters begin to form again. This time, a new shape forms, but there is no substance to this shape. It is almost as if it is simply a crystal. Crystal made of ice just begins to form almost instantaneously before your eyes. A great scream fills the city, filling your ears. It seems to come from everywhere. Mine! 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 And the third form of Oral, it seems, comes into existence, although this time it is very small. And you flee to the best of your abilities as this thing comes to fruition. And then you hear a shriek on the air as a great rock begins to circle above you. And then the city erupts into chaos.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we played Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden, for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. The music was created by Flowers for Body Snatchers, Ugathanye, Wordclock, and Metatron Omega, and was used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Check them out at cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for more music for your gaming table. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Nastasia Raulerson, Simon Cooper, David, Julia, David Hagberg, Camilla, and Ludwig Manford for their generous support. And we would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult Divinity Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. May Lathander protect you and fill the world with light.